Kia ora. My name is Emily Townsend, Head of Lifecycle Strategies at ThinkStep ANZ. I worked with HERA and ECOS to develop the rules and calculations behind zero carbon steel, and I'd like to share some background with you on how it all works. There are 3 steps to zero carbon steel: calculation, offsetting, certification. The online calculator supports the underlying calculation of emissions associated with the steel used in the project. For smaller projects, the calculated emissions can be offset through a direct payment, resulting in a certificate and all managed through the website. Larger projects have an additional verification step with ECOS prior to offsetting a calculation, but the calculator still forms the basis. For every steel product used in the project, the user will need to know the product type and quantity, and also the source of the product and how it's been transported. The product transport needs to cover all transport steps from the steel producer to the project site, including road, rail, and sea freight. Your supplier might be able to help you with this information, and you can also work it out by finding out where the product was originally sourced from and use distance calculators that are available throughout the calculator to estimate the distance. It's really important to consider all of the transport steps, including from the production plant to the port in the country of origin, from port to port, and from the local port to further distribution or fabrication centres, and then the final transport to the project site. Including all of these steps means that the emissions associated with transporting steel long distance or from overseas are counted properly. For every steel product used in the project, the user will need to know the product type and quantity, and also the source of the product and how it's been transported. The source of type and quantity data depends on the stage of the project and whether you're looking to estimate emissions for a tender or to offset a completed project. For projects in early stages, the type and quantity data is most likely to come from building drawings or quantity estimations. For projects that are nearing or past completion, that calculation should be based on actual quantities received, for example, from invoices or from delivery notes. We have tried to be as comprehensive as we can, but the calculator is based on verifiable data, such as that coming from environmental product declarations, or EPDs. We've included all Australasian-produced steel products that have published EPDs and that we know to be used in New Zealand as standard. In many cases, the EPDs only cover production of the base steel, and they exclude further processing, such as fabrication. In these instances, we've worked with the industry to gather average data for the fabrication steps, and have included the emissions from these steps in the calculator. The process is explained in further detail in the programme rules. Some types of steel are commonly imported from overseas, and we've supported the inclusion of these by including life cycle inventory data from World Steel and from the International Stainless Steel Federation. This is robust data from industry-level life cycle assessments. However, it is only applicable to products sourced from mills that provided data to the study. We've listed the relevant mills wherever the industry average data is used, and we ask that you confirm that your steel is sourced from one of these mills. That's really important in order for it to be representative. You'll find details of all the products that are included in the programme rules, and also via links from each product tab in the calculator. Despite our best efforts, there will be some products that aren't included in the calculator. If the product you're using isn't in there, I'm afraid you can't offset it yet. It isn't appropriate to use another product as a proxy, and it's against the rules of the programme. In this case, please chat to your supplier and ask them to read the programme rules. If they believe that their product meets the requirements, then they can request consideration for inclusion by contacting HERA. A handy hint here, if the product has an EPD, it's likely to meet the requirements. HERA will commission ThinkStep ANZ to assess the compliance with the programme rules at the cost of the steel supplier requesting the addition. ECOS will add it to the calculator once ThinkStep ANZ determines the appropriate calculation and compliance with the programme rules. The calculator can be used at any stage of your project, as soon as you've got details on the types and quantities of steel that you're going to use, and an intention to offer or to use a zero carbon steel option. This means that the calculator can be used at tender stage to estimate the cost of a zero carbon steel option for your client. The most accurate calculation will be when the project has been completed and the final products and quantities are known. Our advice for large projects would be to register the project early on so that you can estimate and secure your offsets. It's always possible to do a wash-up later in the build once the quantities are confirmed. The programme rules and all of the calculations in the background have been developed by ThinkStep ANZ in consultation with HERA and ECOS. ThinkStep ANZ is an independent company with extensive experience of conducting life cycle assessments and creating environmental product declarations in the steel sector in Australasia. We are members of the New Zealand Green Building Council and the Life Cycle Association of New Zealand, and also have experience developing and working with programme rules. ECOS sources the credits that are used for carbon emissions calculator and provides certification to projects. ECOS is a New Zealand social enterprise that is recognised as a credible carbon offsetting scheme by Consumer NZ. The carbon credits arise from establishing new forests and protecting existing forests indefinitely from logging, which create measured, reported and verified carbon benefits alongside other environmental and social benefits. HERA is an independent research association and will host and maintain the programme rules of the carbon emissions calculator to ensure public access and transparency. The programme rules are available on the HERA website and are essential reading for anyone using the calculator. You don't have to read everything though. The general programme rules in section 2 and the calculation methodology in section 3 provide an overview of how the programme works. Section 4 then provides product-specific guidelines so that you can jump to the relevant section for your project. For any questions relating to the carbon emissions calculator, please contact HERA. We've made the carbon emissions calculator as user-friendly and as comprehensive as we can. But for large or complex projects, you might find that you need some support. If that's the case, please fill in the basic information that you have on the calculator and submit it to ECOS, who will get in touch. I hope that's been useful. Don't forget to check out the HERA website to find out more. Good luck with your projects, and I look forward to hearing about projects around New Zealand using zero carbon steel.